because he's not legally allowed to hit me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now pedestrians have rights of way on roads. It's like, okay, so America, you get arrested for it because it's jaywalking. In the UK, drivers now have to look out for them as well.
Right, drivers have always had to look out for them. It's always been illegal to hit somebody on the road.
Oh yeah, but they can legally now just
You've got to
step
actually
out.
follow the path.
Yeah, they can. They have rights of way. If you're going down the junction, they can legally step out in front of you, and you've got to then stop. Whereas before, they had to use common sense. Stop the green cross code man. Stop. Look both ways. Cross.
That thing is, that's always been there, and you can get hit by a car, but they have to prove that they were driving with due care and attention. So if you hit a pedestrian, you will always be investigated.
Oh yeah,
simple as that. So
yeah,
and even now you will be, because you've always had right of way as a pedestrian if you're in the road already,
especially if they're in their own house.
That's what I mean. Yeah, if they were on the road, yes. This is now they can actually step out as there's a car coming, and they have right of way. It's in the highway code from a couple of years ago.
The thing is, it's always been that way.
Yeah,
it's a new change.
No, it's always been that way.
They've just highlighted it. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
They've highlighted it.
Yeah, it's always been. It's always
the news.
Yeah, it's always been It's always been that a pedestrian in the road has the right of way. Always. So it doesn't matter.
If he's on the road at the time, yes.
No.
Now they can step out.
They can step out. But if they step out into a car, you may get investigated, but it'll be their fault because they've stepped out into a car.
Yeah, but you'll get penalised because now the highway.
No, you'll get investigated. You won't get penalised. You'll get investigated. So you won't get penalised for it. If somebody jumps out in front of your car, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, but whose word is it? Theirs. Who's actually been injured? Yeah, I was already there. And
yours.
Unless you've got a camera.
Yours or theirs. Yours or theirs.
Yeah.
Always have a camera. Dash cam is the best thing to have in a car now, unfortunately. So many people who are absolutely idiots.
Royal Mail don't have dash cams in their vehicles, so I put my own in because somebody accused me of hitting their car and I didn't. And so from now on I've now got a dash cam in my car so I can see everything.
Yeah. Well, my car's the windscreen is a lot shallower than most, so if I put a dash cam up, it's filling up most of my field of view, so I can't put the dash cam in. I've got to actually get a specialist one, which is fitted by the manufacturer, and I'm looking at about 600, 700 quid for it. That's like,
to be fair, you get very small dash cams these days now.
Yeah. I paid. You get a dash cam that just sticks to your window, or you can rest on. You can put them all over the place, can't you?
You can,
yeah. All right, shall we get going?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just rubbing stuff on my ass. On my back, should I say?
All right. Finish rubbing stuff on.
No, you can carry on.
Okay, so it's been a while. Welcome back, everybody. Last session, you had taken a mission to from the Scout Service in Tarkeen, I believe, to go and investigate a report of a ship out past the habitable zone of the Binges system, specifically out on sort of planetoid number 3, so quite a way out. There we go, system map. Yeah, planetoid number 3. There we go. Let's show you all this in a second. The ask basically was to kind of go and get a full detailed analysis of the ship, what it is, why it's there, if there's anybody still on it, etc. Report that back to the Scout Service for them to decide what to do next. They're prepared to offer you a fee of 12,000 credits for the job. They also fueled the ship and provided you with the necessary life support and victuals for the ship for the journey out and back again. So you'd set off out, arriving in Binges and then kind of taking the journey out past the habitable zone, and the kind of the slow, arduous journey to the coordinates of the planetoid and the potential ship that was in orbit. Arriving, you discovered that the ship was indeed in orbit, but it's a decaying orbit and it's currently sat between the planet's surface and the ring itself. And based on your analysis and your ship's computer, in approximately 12 or so hours, the ship will impact the ring, which will be a catastrophic impact, most likely destroying the ship as it kind of just grinds itself into the various ice and other bits of rock that are forming that ring. We left it last session with you sort of closing in on the ship, probably about 2 or 3 kilometers out, at a point now where you're getting a fairly good view of what you can see. It turned out to be a laboratory ship that is still rotating, so there is still some gravity on the ship. There is a pinnace at the centre of the hub. I should really get a picture of it, shouldn't I? Hang on. So one thing I didn't get you is an image of a laboratory ship. There, I've got one. Oh, look at this. I've managed to get you a lab ship. Aren't I clever? He says in black and white.
I'm going to say I'm preserving statements until I see it.
Yeah, you will do. You'll be super excited though. Give me a sec, just uploading it. There we go.
But it looks nothing like how I've got it in my head.
This is a really old.
Where have you put it? Got it.
There you go. It's a very old image.
I think the image I had in my head must have been from Star Trek or something.
Yeah. So essentially, so what you have is that the central spine has a pinnace on it, and so you know the pinnace is a light, non-jump capable sort of interplanetary shuttle. It sits stationary, and then the actual ship itself rotates around. So the spine that's attached to the pinnace actually rotates, whilst the ship stays exactly as it is. There are 2 engines at the back, as you can see, one on either side, and then the rest of the ship is just essentially a huge ring. It's approximately 400 or so tons worth of ship. Your ship computer would tell you that it is... Let's have a look. I'm sure it's in here. Otherwise I'll get the big book out.
You did say last week that it was a 400-ton Calypso class.
Yeah, it's a 400-ton Calypso class laboratory ship. Typically, it's used to conduct field expeditions, experiments in space, etc. Sometimes used covertly to perform secret stuff that people don't necessarily want to know, want other people to know that's taking place. So they can park these things in orbit of planetoids, just like you have, and potentially do strange and wonderful things with it. But anyway, so that's kind of the ship that you see in front of you. There, on that spine, there is a docking bay, which you would be able to access. It also tells you that there are a couple of other sort of docking areas that would be suitable for something like an air raft to kind of take in. But the only place to dock a ship is where the pinnace is currently connected.
What state is that in?
The pinnace?
Yeah.
The pinnace looks to be... No. I mean, as far as you can tell, based on your sensor readout, the pinnace appears to be in good condition.
How many people can it hold?
A pinnace can hold... Good question. Where is the pinnace in the book?
As in, can the crew escape on it, effectively?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can get cargo. Oh, here we go. It's right at the back. A pinnace is typically crewed by a single pilot. Usually you kind of can get sort of 6 sort of cabins, and then a cargo space. It kind of depends on how the pinnace has been configured. But this one most probably is a fairly standard pinnace, and so likely has 6 seats plus the 2 seats for the crew, plus a substantial cargo bay. It's a 40-ton streamlined ship that does actually go quite quick.
What was the picture said?
Oh. There. I'll try and find a more modern one while I'm...
Oh, that's the lab ship. I thought you had a picture of the pinnace.
Oh, I'll get the pinnace in a second. You want a pinnace, don't you? Let's have a look.
Be very careful how you spell it. Have we tried to communicate with them? I can't remember.
You haven't? No, we literally left it as you were approaching, so you haven't yet. You have not yet kind of done anything beyond get to about 5 clicks out and scan it. The other thing you notice that in a couple of in one of the sectors, which sector 1? Yeah, in one of the sectors, there appears to be almost the entire sector is lit up. One of the adjacent connected sectors has some lights, just a couple at one end that seem to be showing. And also there is a soft red glow about halfway down the spine itself. That seems to be very lightly strobing.
As in a light rather than fire?
As in a light rather than fire, yes.
Okay.
That would be that would be your conclusion. It's more red, artificial red, than that flickery, orangey kind of.
And I'd picked up on people either chasing animals or animals chasing people with my telepathy, but only I know that.
Yeah.
you say some bollocks about, oh, didn't they go past a window or something like
that. I was thinking of saying that, but I don't think I'd get away with it. Not from that far out.
Together, holding about two or so clicks off station, it looks like the only way you're going to be able to get over to the ship is probably via either the air raft that you have in your cargo hold or a spacewalk.
Will an aircraft work in space?
Aircraft is fine in space, yeah.
Right, okay.
It's open topped though, so you'll need to have your vac suits on and be fully protected against the environment. But your aircraft will. It's a zero grav. It's a grav vehicle, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, grav vehicle, does it not need something to press against them? Is that not... Do they not press against the... or use the gravitational force?
Looking at flyers,
sure.
airship, grav, ornithopter, rotor, and wing. So...
No, you're right. It wouldn't work. So you are walking.
Well, we just need to pull the ship up quite close to open up the cargo bay.
Though there are lots of bits in there are lots of references in Traveller material that says they can.
Right.
I would have thought that like the clue would be in the name, though. The grav vehicle is...
Yeah.
Like... Because they can't fly, can they? Grav vehicles, they're still...
Well, they're under fire as the skill.
Yeah, but don't they kind of hover?
They do, yeah.
They'd always have to have a ground as such to actually press against. We'll get an ice pack. Carry on, I can hear you.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, okay. Easiest way, I suppose, is for Prentice to use his comms, see if anyone's actually there, because if they can move the pinnace, we can dock to there.
Yep.
You got comms, haven't you?
I have indeed.
I thought you had. Yeah, see if there's anybody on that's able to tell us what the hell's going on.
Yeah, the thing is, if we haven't already put a request in anyway, we'd be putting a request in to dock.
Yeah.
First and foremost. So.
I don't have comms, sorry.
I thought you had.
You know, I thought you had communications.
You got sensors.
Sensors, yeah.
Okay.
So comms is just +0. I've only got +0 on comms as well.
What's it come under?
Electronics.
Under what, sorry?
Electronics.
So yeah, it's because I'm trained in electronics.
Not my skill.
Yeah, I'm trained in it, but it's all zeros. I've got no pluses on anything on it. Well,
All right.
try and open a channel to them.
Okay. Give me a You're probably still going to use sensors, I would have thought, to do this. Unless it's...
Oh no, I was trying to open up the skill. Ignore
that. Okay.
You can ignore mine as well if you want.
I was going to say there is a skill for comms.
Oh, is that? Okay.
It's under electronics, right? Yeah, so it'd be a flat electronics roller.
Flat electronics check then if you've not got it.
It's even worse. That's why it's going.
Turn it on.
Marcus gets an average success. Okay.
I was going to say I don't know because I did a blind roll for some strange reason.
As you are, you spend sort of, I don't know, a few minutes kind of hailing the one second, hailing the ship, but get no real. Sorry, there you go. That's what I've been doing. There's the penis. But you get no response. You just get static.
Okay.
I'd like to ask the computer if there's any way to override the internal comms on that ship, so we can come through like their tannoy system.
How I spell penis.
The computer, your computer system kind of tells you essentially not from here. You'll need to be physically on board. But once you get on board, if you can get to the main flight deck, you'd be able to do that anyway.
Could have been worse. It could have been that space penis I've just put in chat.
That's what I was saying. Be careful how you spell it.
The best thing that was going around after the Blue Origin takeoff last week was the overlaying the scene from Austin Powers as it took off. It's brilliant.
Is there any way to dock to the pinnace? So basically, dock on the outside and then go through the pinnace to the ship?
Unfortunately, the pinnace does have a cargo bay, so whilst again you won't be able to dock your ship. Also, most likely, your ship is too big to dock against the ring anyway. You're a 100-ton ship, remember, and the pinnace is a 40-ton ship. So, most likely, based on the schematics that you have in your library, the lab ship's docking system is not designed for a ship of your size to connect to it.
Do they not have those like extendable tubes that they let out for bigger ships? Because I'd assume they must have big ships bringing stuff like food and all that guff.
That's what the pinnace is for.
Right.
So normally you'd have probably a 200 to 400 ton supply ship coming in that would then allow the pinnace to fly over dock, collect
ferry backs and forwards.
20 odd tons worth of cargo, and then take it back and then unload that down into the ship.
Well, why not see how close you can get to the pinnace, okay? And then we can manually open the cargo bay, can't we?
The thing is, it won't be the only way onto it because they'll have access ports for maintenance. So all we need to look for is a maintenance airlock. Get the ship into an orbit around it. Program it to maintain that and match speed, if it's spinning, and then just spacewalk over to it. Just make sure that we've got the actual we're attached with the cards, the spacewalk cards.
Yep, that sounds good.
That sounds like a sensible plan. That sounds almost too sensible.
I do come up with them every now and then. I suppose if we can do that, if we can try and locate maintenance airlock or any airlock, to be honest with you, it doesn't have to just be one that a ship can come out of. But there'll be that, because they won't go out through the pinnace out of the cargo hold to go and fix the actual, and then an antenna on the outside of the
That's probably an area of the ship that's actually lit rather than the one that's unlit, because they may not have power to open it again.
It might be easier if we could. So where's that picture? So it was. I'm assuming it was rotating around like the wheel axis.
Correct. Yeah.
So if we could just align ourselves with the centre of the spokes,
and
we wouldn't have to rotate then, as such, because we'd be going right into the centre and clamping into the centre. Then we mag boot onto the centre, so we don't have that problem about drift or anything like that.
Yeah,
as long as we align ourselves with the centre, we're not actually. It's not a moving target as such.
Yeah,
that
right,
we're aiming for.
That's where the pinnace is, isn't it?
Well, pinnace isn't in the centre, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we go on the other side. We go on the other side. It's got two sides.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, a couple of things. Do you want to get close with the ship? My first question.
Oh, sir, because I don't fancy a 2-click spacewalk.
All right. Give me a pilot roll.
I don't think the air hoses are going to be long enough.
We'll program the ship so that it doesn't get any closer than 500 meters, and it slams the anchors on and thrusters if I get any closer than 500 meters.
Okay.
And then we can look from there.
Nice.
Beautiful. Very nice. You bring the ship within about 500 or so meters of the lab ship. You can now see on the spine a couple of things that you can see. First of all, you can see where that red glow appears to be sort of midway down that spine, appears to be a large cargo hatch that is open. It's about 15 or so feet wide.
Can we send? We've got some drones, haven't we?
Yeah.
You have.
Can we send the drones over to take a look? But we don't have to be first.
You want to send a drone over. So the drone isn't a drone as such that you'll be able to steer it through a spaceship, but you could certainly get it to the cargo bay and do a scan of the cargo interior.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to look if it's been spaced.
Yeah.
Because the cargo may over what it may be. Like interior.
Given that you are 500 meters away, the cargo bay door is definitely open.
Can we see any interior doors open?
You can't from where you are. You'd need, as I say, you'd need to send your
that's fine.
Send your drone in.
Are these drones able to go around the outside and look through windows?
Round the outside.
Around the outside, yeah.
I can't remember what kind of drone they are. Let me have a look what kind of drone they are.
So I've got a mental image in my head of a huge alien queen sitting in the cargo bay waiting for snacks to come in.
That's why I didn't want to be going over there without taking a look.
That's what I was thinking. The drone is probably a really good idea, just in case.
Thing is, if we can also see interior doors that have been opened, then then it's lost vacuum inside as well, isn't it? It's got no atmosphere. Turn the music off.
Right, give me a sec. Just looking for the drones in here. Give an idea of what they can do. What were they called? Can you remember?
Bob.
Yeah, Bob Ellie. Yeah.
Wasn't it Bob in Black Hole?
It was, yeah.
Black Hole? Yeah, I thought it was. I haven't seen that since I was a kid, so how I remembered that, I don't know.
Where's your shit?
Awesome film to watch on a Sunday afternoon. It's not for kids.
Unless you're one of those parents, in which case it is for kids.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
I bought the music album for that, the LP.
Yeah, I did.
Absolutely fantastic. The score was fantastic on it.
I can't remember the film. I can remember Bob. Can't remember anything else about it, though I know I've seen it. And I remember buying the album.
It's fantastic.
Like all the ones where they have the little square robots, drones.
Yeah.
And their eyes change colour or something, depending on what side they're on. I can't remember. Or was that?
No, well, Black Hole's the one with the flying Henry Hoovers.
Yeah, and there was a big red drop Maximilian.
That's it, Maximilian.
Yeah, I had that as a toy. I had
really?
Maximilian as a toy. Yeah.
God. I remember Weetabix doing it as like one of those sticker things you did with the Star Wars ones, where you got the stickers you could stick on the display at the back. They did the same thing with Black Hole.
Yeah.
It's because it was
Maximilian was a bad guy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Bloodthirsty motherfucker.
I'm gonna rip through your guts right now. Yes, I'm made by Disney.
Probe drones, that's what you've got. I'm just trying to figure out what they can and can't do. Bear with me. White glow generators. Skip drive. That's all exotic technology. Broad spectrum antivirals.
Worst comes to worst, I'll take my personal communicator into the cargo bay, open our cargo bay, align ourselves, just throw it with the camera running.
Yeah.
No, I think they'll be fine. I think you'll be absolutely fine. Just wanting to see where they're documented. They should be in here somewhere. Probe drones. For surveying planetary surfaces are commonly found on board scout ships. They can be dropped from orbit in disposable entry shells, but must be recovered manually. You have... So they're about half...
So they probably don't have propulsion then. They dropped in a drop pod, or do they actually move once they're on the planet?
Doesn't say. Probe drones are also capable of surveying orbital satellites, derelicts, and other space debris. Can be used as communication relays. The drones can operate indefinitely. Okay, so, for want of a better thing, they can... you can send one of your drones over. You can kind of fire one of your drones over and have it kind of... the shell explode out and it can kind of go over and in. Give me who's going to do this? I'm going to go for an electronics roll, I think, in order to get this set up and sent over. You can just do straightforward standard electronics.
There's actually a tops skill which
Beautiful, Brent. Nicely done. Okay. So you bring your ship in. You kind of flip the ship up so that you're kind of traveling. So bear in mind, the ship is rotating. It is actually traveling in an orbit around the planet, so it's not stationary, but that's a slightly decaying orbit. So every time it does an orbit around the planet, it's getting closer and closer to the ice ring. So you kind of match the ship. You've brought your ship in. You've matched your speed. You're about 500 meters out. The spine is not rotating, so it's very easy for you to just kind of flip the ship, get it thrusted backwards at the same speed. You did a really good roll on your pilot skill, and then you send over the drone. So the drone kind of goes over and it kind of breaks out of its shell, propulsion shell, as it hits the doorway, and kind of sits inside. I would say it's probably got a very light, like very small propulsion system on it, so it's not going to be super fast. Probably maybe 3, 4, 5
sort of stabilizing thrusters.
Yeah, well, maybe 3, 4, 5 kilometers per hour kind of speed. So nothing. It's not going to be able to chase you down and shoot you.
You don't want to be going too fast in the interior. Like I said, it said you can send it into wrecks of ships, so you'd assume it can go down corridors and that stuff.
So effectively, what you have in the central spine, despite the fact that it's kind of vertical. Well, actually, it probably isn't vertical. It's probably horizontal, with the pinnace kind of at a 90-degree angle, sort of to the spine. It is definitely has been vented. A number of cargo boxes are kind of floating around, and in fact, right at the entranceway, there are 2 or 3 that are just balanced right near the entrance to the cargo, or to the exit of the cargo bay. The other thing that you see, so kind of glancing around, there is a small lift at the furthest end away from where the pinnace is connected that seems to go up into the ship itself. That is sealed. There are a number of red emergency lights that are kind of flickering and strobing in here. There's a set of controls at the far end near the pit, near the iris, which the lift and the iris, which do have power to them as far as the sensors and the cameras on the probe are showing you. The other side, where the pinnace is connected, there is a closed airlock. And then the other thing, amongst the cargo crates that are moving around, as the probe kind of flips itself around and kind of starts to head probably more towards the pinnace end than the lift and the iris end, a body floats past.
That was going to be one of the questions, whether there's anyone in there, whether they're in a suit or not.
Definitely not in a suit. In
what
normal
sort of condition is the body in? Can we make it out on screen?
The condition that you would expect it to be in after being exposed to zero G space for a while.
There's no signs of any kill wounds or anything?
Can't really tell.
No.
But no,
so the interior has been vented then?
The cargo bay has been vented.
Okay.
The iris further in, the airlock into the pinnace is closed, and the iris and airlock beyond into the station is also closed.
The person that's floating past, do they have a uniform of the ship? The name of the ship on the back of the overalls, or are they something else?
No, they do. Actually,
was it Nostradamus? It's called
Nostradamus. No, they have a very crisp white sort of scientist smock with a small name badge, like a name, like a surname thing, and above it just says Calendula. And the name is Martins.
They're doing in the loading bay. Never get their hands dirty in a white uniform, surely.
Maybe he was skiving when something happened.
Possibly.
So definitely, as you kind of analyse this, you could definitely get yourself over into the cargo bay. There does appear to be power to the systems in there, so with a little bit of effort, you might have to move some of the crates, either push them out or pull them in, to clear the doorway properly. But for as far as you can tell, given the fact that the ship still seems to have power, you could potentially reseal and re-establish gravity, and actually there wouldn't ever be gravity in here because the ring, no, artificial gravity would work. So you'd be able to re-establish artificial gravity in there if you wanted to.
Okay.
Spend too much time reading The Expanse, getting confused.
I was picturing The Expanse in this because there's a bit with cargo containers and things in that as well.
You do well. In The Expanse, they do have spin gravity on on the big ship that gets turned into the behemoth. But you get the whole Coriolis effect and all that malarkey, don't you?
Yeah.
How do weapons work in this? It's like, will the projectile weapons work if there was something in a hostile in the atmosphere? Okay, that's fine.
It's all contained, isn't it?
Okay, I'll get my rifle. I guess I'll try and get over there. Put on the vac suit. Well, put on the top of the vac suit to the helmet.
Okay.
Because I've probably been wearing that anyway. As we're approaching, and head over to. I'm assuming that we've got cargo doors or whatever next facing the.
Yep, you can go out of the same exit that you ejected. Well, you can open your cargo bay door. You could cycle through your airlock. The probes probably go out of their own small hatch. I don't know whether you probably fit out of those.
The interior door of the cargo bay to the interior of the ship.
Yeah.
Does it have a viewing window on it? Because I assume there's like an airlock or something, or is it just a door? I'm assuming from a cargo bay there's an airlock, an interior airlock.
It's the elevator, wasn't it?
From your cargo bay, there isn't an interior airlock.
Oh no, I mean from the lab ship.
The lab ship's cargo bay door goes straight into cargo. There is a lift that heads up through an iris. So there isn't a traditional airlock as such. You would assume that they would seal everything off, open the airlock and depressurize. Then they would open the airlock door to bring any cargo in that they needed to bring it in that way. And then kind of close the cargo door and repressurize and re-establish gravity. Fairly rudimentary.
I didn't know if there was like a double layer to the iris, where they'd do it that way.
There would probably be maybe I don't know. The map doesn't indicate that there's a double. Yes, there is. Yes.
Because otherwise,
so basically, they take it past the first iris, close the bottom iris, pressurize the interior because that'll be your airlock difference, and then take it up into the ship. Right? Okay, go.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm only going to take my pistol. I don't think we'll need weapons over there, to be quite honest. I don't like firing guns in spaceships anyway.
I'm taking my heaviest armour, shotgun, and my pistol.
I'm taking my assault rifle. It's got a grenade launcher on it, but I'm not taking any grenades with me.
If I don't need them, I've not lost anything.
Yeah.
Good point. I'll follow your lead then, because I'm not a warrior.
That's okay. You can be a body bag.
Okay. Give me. I'm gonna go with probably vac suit rolls. But let me just double check.
Figure out what I'm wearing. Actually, my cloth and my does the vac shell have anything else on it? Does it do anything else?
When do I? There we go. I was wondering why I was rolling blind gem earlier. Right.
Where's the information on the vac shell?
On the vac suit itself.
No, on my flat shell. Where do you get the information off stuff?
What are you looking for?
No, I thought you could double click on, like your items. I thought you could double click on and look at the information you'd pasted into it. So not like an information. Is it under edit?
It should be.
It's under edit. You have to click edit to actually look at the information. Right. Gotcha. Okay. Let's see what it's got. It's got no extra bonuses to. To be honest with you, I can't see any difference to it between a flat shell and the cloth armor I've got, so I may as well just take the cloth armor because it's like, yeah. That's it. What's just done there?
That's interesting. Yeah, you're right. There must be some difference.
I thought like the flak, because I was going to wear one on top of the other, and I didn't know whether the flat shell like had a bonus against. I just picked it up. I didn't know whether the flat shell had a bonus like against slugs or something stupid like that, but it doesn't appear to because I think I pasted everything in.
What? Okay, so hang on. You've got a flak shell, have you?
Flak shell, yeah.
Okay, so not a flak jacket, because the flak jacket is protection 5.
Yeah, flak shell is 8, and it's like a carapace breastplate type thing.
It's got to give you something more.
But it's like the cloth armor is, it's quite advanced. It is tech level 10, so there's every chance that it does the same as the other one, but it just costs less.
Anything to do with radiation? Like the vac suit's only protection 8, but it's got 60 rads.
It'd say something like I've got a heat-proof suit and got something else as well. Can't remember which one it is. No, I think I've got an Ablat suit as well, which I think is lasers. Yeah, it's got energy type lasers. I think it was in the like the catalogue, I think.
Because I can't find it.
If I can look for it. You carry on, and I'll see if I can find it. All right.
Okay. So loading yourself up. What's everybody going over with?
Vac suit, a combat rifle.
Okay.
I'll have my personal HUD and things like that with me for communication. I've got a
Found it's on page 13. It doesn't have any difference. I guess it's flak shell, tech level 9. It's even more expensive than cloth, though. And it's way heavier. Why would you ever bother with it?
Don't know. I thought it did something when I looked at it, but maybe it's just intimidating. Who knows? So I won't take my heatproof suit. That's for certain. I won't need my binoculars.
I'm not taking my binoculars either.
Breather mask. Breather mask I need for that. This isn't it? It's not respirator.
Yep.
Okay. I'll take the translator. I won't take my ACR. I will be taking my assault shotgun though, and that will be in use. Anything else down there that I need? I don't think so. I know else I need to. Where's the? You said we also had a. We got some vac boots, didn't you, as well? So obviously I'm taking that over.
Yeah.
And I can climb out a bit once I'm in there.
Yeah.
That is my armor, basically, my vac suit. So.
Cool.
You're not wearing armor under it?
No.
Tech level 10 you were given, so tech level 10 gives you protection 8.
Okay.
But obviously, if that gets shredded, you are stuck getting back over.
Yeah, I'm.
If it gets shredded, everyone is.
Yeah.
Hasn't it got a pro? Aren't you quite immobile in them? Don't they have a restriction on moving? Can't remember.
Don't think so.
No, the higher the quality, the least restricted they are.
This is the second rank one, isn't it?
They don't actually. Yeah, no, they don't. They don't convey penalties for moving.
Seems odd.
It does seem odd. Well, at least according to this, it doesn't. You do need vac suit 1, vac suit 0 though as a skill, so presume you've got that.
Aye.
There we go. Okay. All right. Well, you tool yourself up.
Probably take some tools over as well, just in case something's faulty with the iris and we need to fix it as well.
Yeah, I'm taking my scientific tools across.
Okay.
Although they weigh 8 kilograms, so I'll be like, bugger.
Right. They'll float.
Yeah. For a while.
All right. So you basically tether yourself to your guide rope, and you kind of push yourself off and aim for the cargo hold.
That suits have thrusters on them anyway, don't they? So.
Okay, so the map I'm going to put you on, although it has squares on it, it's not a gridded map. So just bear in mind, I'm not too precious about squares. I just want it to be more for just tracking where you all are. And I did say map. So as you kind of come in, you kind of push your way inside. You can you see it? Is that seeing okay?
Black for me.
It's black with a orange square. That's all I can say.
It's because I haven't done that.
Oh, lovely.
It's still black with an orange square for me.
Yeah, there
we go.
Just takes a little while. I have to update all your tokens. Okay, so as you say, so as you come in, so this is horizontal. The pinnace would be at 90 degrees with its docking bay, its docking system connected to the docking area. This appears to be down this end, the docking system. You can see the airlock here. Over this end, you can see what appears to be a small, sort of 2 meter by 2 meter open lift. So no, no cage or anything, with a small panel with a little hand operated up and down and on off kind of switch. And there's a set of kind of computers that are lit up here, probably environmental cargo door operation. There's also probably cargo door operating systems on the wall next to the cargo door as well. They all do have power.
Wonderful. Let's clear the door first then.
Okay.
I'm not going to push anything out. I'm just going to pull it into the inside rather than pushing it out because it might be something important inside.
No, there's a half dozen or so crates that are kind of floating around, either directly in the way of the doors being able to close, or actual, getting easily moving in and out. And so you kind of push them away. Currently, zero G in here makes it quite easy for you to do that.
I'll head over to the corpse, have a quick look to see how it died, see whether there are any external wounds from something attacking it or someone shooting it.
Not a problem. Do you want to give me let's have a look. Give me a medic roll. So best you can tell, there are no visible signs of so there are no signs of wounds, puncture wounds, gunshots, etc. There is an odd kind of there's an odd trail of what you assume to be saliva coming out from the mouth. It's kind of moving with and floating with the body, and a somewhat look of sort of slightly animalistic look about the face, the eyes, the mouth contorted a little bit, but the person clearly died of asphyxiation.
Okay.
Is the drone still here?
The drone is still here, yeah.
Can we get it? We said it could scan for viruses and things like that, didn't we?
It can scan. You can give me a sense. Somebody can give me a sensor roll, and I'll see how I interpret that.
Although, has Brent got medic stuff that he can scan with? Has he got a medic scanner and it's better?
He's the sensor operator and the medic, so
yeah. I don't know what tools you've brought with you, sir.
No, I've got my med kit and scientific stuff, but I'll just do a sensor check for you first.
Ooh.
The probe is not picking anything up that would makes any sense. You're just seeing, as you kind of glance over the probe's readings, you're literally just getting normal. I was going to say normal air quality, but there's no air in here. You just get normal readings for being in the cold depths of space. Effectively, background radiation. Very weak background radiation, given that you are a hell of a long way from the sun. You're right out past the, out beyond the habitable zone of the system. So negligible radiation from the sun, the usual kind of gamma radiation, etc., from just general space. Beyond that, nothing. And that would kind of make sense, right? If there was a disease in the air and this part of the station had been vented, the disease would go with the air.
Yeah.
Has he got anything on him? Brent, has he got anything on him? ID, or has he got anything on him that like a tag that'll give access? I'm not expecting keys, but he may have a tag on his uniform that gives him access to various places.
No problem. I'll pass on to Marcus as you're next to it.
Just playing volleyball with the cops over a crate.
Yeah, key cards and things like that is what I was thinking. Keys,
yeah.
There is in a pocket of his jacket. There is a key card, a kind of crisp white card. It doesn't say anything on it other than a photo ID of the individual, the number 1, calendula. Oh, and Martins.
Okay. No rats or anything like that.
G. Martins. No.
Is he a Gavin, or is he a Gary,
or a Graham, or a Gerald?
Be a Jill.
Jill Martins. Yeah.
Or Gil.
Gil. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Buck Rogers.
Yeah. You just said it was Gerard. Okay, so yeah, I'll take that off him. Put the body somewhere so it's not going to get damaged. Sort of thing. Put it to the side so it's not going to float out into space or get crushed when.
Or smashed. Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah.
And then head towards the way.
Okie doke.
So is that the circular thing over here?
Yeah, that represents where the lift shaft would be, and then the iris to take you up. Yeah.
Head over there. Actually,
I think first things first, shouldn't we close this cargo bay door first?
Well, I'm hoping that the computers and things near there have got some controls for it.
I'm more than happy to not close that door if we want to run out of here?
Fair point. Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Just ask the question of ChatGPT: do bodies freeze in space? It's horrific.
Basically, every cell expands, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not because it's cold. It's because the heat just leaves your body through radiation.
Yeah.
You don't instantly freeze. It takes time. You'll die because of lack of oxygen in 15 seconds. Your bodily fluids, saliva, tears, etc., might start to boil due to the lack of pressure, not temperature. But your body stays liquid. Lovely. And then after hours to days, you would freeze solid. Especially in the shadow of a planet or a spacecraft. Ooh.
So you'll asphyxiate, then you'll boil, then you'll freeze.
Internally, you'll boil internally, your blood may boil internally, but not because of heat.
Yeah.
And then, depending on where your body is, whether you've got any sun or heat source radiating to you, if you're in the shadow, it's probably going to be hours. If you're in space and you're getting some heat from the sun, it might be days. If you're in direct sunlight, however, the body might partially mummify instead of freezing because of solar radiation. Oh,
I would say this body is probably frozen.
Yeah, there's no.
How do they know that? I know it's all science and stuff, but it's not like they can just chuck another body out, will you? You see what happens.
I know.
Those kind of things are probably quite easy to test, right? They just don't tell you. So what they've done is they've probably taken a prisoner that was on death row and just tossed him out of an airlock. I mean,
what do you use mice for?
I was going to say a cow's corpse or a pig corpse or something like that. Just get that up, toss it out of the shuttle, and just watch what happens. You know,
sick bastards.
Probably not alive. Okay. Yeah, you can get yourself to the lift and the iris. As I say, it's probably just like it's probably just on a pneumatic kind of press that pushes upwards. Nothing more fancy than that. And it's probably maybe 3-4 meters to the ceiling. So it'll just go up, the iris will open, and you'll be up there. It's big enough to probably take a 1 ton, maybe a 1 ton, 2 ton crate on here.
Quick question, Zed. I may have missed it. What are these two doors over here?
That appears to be the airlock that would lead to the pinnace.
Okay, so that's where the ship is. Both of them.
Yeah. Oh, well, this one, you have no idea.
Any markings from the outside?
Yeah, it would probably just read storage.
Okay.
All going up together or one at a time?
I do think altogether, otherwise we would be here all day.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've only got like 12 hours.
Yeah, I just have this mental image of the lift going up and the iris not opening and getting squashed. Whoever went first would be
But they should
canary,
do it
so to
together.
speak. Yeah. I was going to go up first or together. There.
Okay. All right. You head up. I'm just going to drag you to where you come out. So it brings you out into a small, a small kind of, indeed, an airlock that allows you to. It's pitch dark in here as well. There's no light, by the way. The only glow, there would be a little tiny glow that would be from the airlock controls. That would allow you to cycle the airlock, the iris closed, pressurize, and then trigger the airlock on the other side.
Okay, I'll turn on my flashlight.
Okay, you're going to turn on your flashlight. I need to figure out which is which, who's who. Carver.
Advanced flashlights. 250 meter narrow beam on it.
Just trying to see what goggles I've got on.
I thought the vac suit would have lights on.
You would think. Figure out which goggles I've got.
Will be able to direct it easier, I guess.
I just have light intensifying goggles, so it needs to be light first.
We've got flashing red lights, haven't we? So I've got improved LI goggles and advanced shades, goggle flash shades.
Yeah, I've got the advanced.
Trying to figure out. I'm going to look.
Goggles shades are protection from glare and bright lights, reactive lenses, and protection from lasers, flares, and nuclear flashes.
There you go, look.
So, yeah, there we go. I can see everyone else.
Oh, the goggles and shades advanced. They're basically anti-flare.
Anti-flare.
Yeah.
So it's.
Cycling through this process is not going to be difficult. The system doesn't appear to be in any kind of lockdown. It seems very happy to kind of cycle through, and you get that pressure equilibrium. The iris door light goes red. You wait probably a minute or so, and then the door beyond into the main station goes green.
I will have my improved LI goggles on, which have got infrared. So I'll be glancing around looking for any warm bits.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've gone through the iris now.
You're through the iris. You're in the kind of this 15 sort of each square is probably 2 meters, so 2, 4, 6, probably 6 meter by 2-ish meter wide kind of airlock. Big enough, as I say, big enough for probably 1 ton, pretty much one, a hand cart with a ton worth of cargo crate, as well as yourselves. And so the door beyond is now showing green.
Okay, so it's pressurized. Cool.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm at the back, so whoever's at the front needs to open it.
Well, you're the grunt, aren't you? So off you pop.
Oh, if I can squeeze past everyone.
Yeah. Oh, you can, yeah.
You can absolutely squeeze past, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let me open the door for you. Okay. Problem is where your fingers come out. Do you want to turn your light off now? Because there is a bit of light in this corridor.
I was going to say there's light. Yeah, I'll put the torch for it.
There you go.
Thank you. I'll get my rifle forward.
Okay. You appear to be in a fairly a longish straight corridor.
Yeah, I shall.
About 18 about about 20 meters or so to an iris door in front of you. There is a door to below you, to the south, which is called straightforward north, south, east, west for now. Easy for me to describe. All of the doors are closed.
Any signs outside or windows?
The sign here just simply says reception.
Okay. I shall try and open
it. Just so you're aware, my shotgun's on a compact rig.
Okay. The door. So you hit a button, the door opens. In here, you are in a dark room. Probably an initial point for arriving visitors, being received by the pinnace.
Right.
There are a number of tables in here.
As
you kind of go.
Any light switches?
Most of the lights you would expect would come on by motion.
Right, okay.
There would probably be a backup switch. The backup switch is in the on position.
Okay. Okay. Aim the gun around the room. It's got IR on it as well.
Okay. There is a flare from the IR, and out from what appears to be a small bundle of detritus, about a dozen rats come scurrying towards you. Do we have a fight?
It sounds like it.
We haven't had a fight before. Okay, so the way combat works.
Wasn't expecting to be fighting fucking rats, that's for certain.
Alright, let's pause. Let's take a quick 10-minute. What you could do. Let's take a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll come back, and then you can decide whether you want to fight the rats or whether you want to close the door.
Yeah.
Alright, quick 10 minutes.
That's what Lisa had when she was in a coma. Both her feet, because she'd been laid down, went from like that to like that, and she had to have this special shoe to train it to go back up again. Well, it's like a big thing that goes around a leg and then under a foot, and it keeps it at an angle. No, she just got the one, so it's all padded inside and everything. But yeah, it was all. Yeah. 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 What? Yeah, that's what hers is. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, MRIs are awesome. That's how I found out I got my tumour. I thought it was just a trapped nerve, but it was C3 to C5. Got a tumour on there. And it's like that was trapping something because I had pains all across my arms and my shoulders, and it's like awful. But my big thing at the moment is my knees are completely fucked. I can't kneel down or anything with it. So it's it just feels like it's going to explode. Pressure-wise, like it's just going to pop. So yes, no. It's been a week off this week, so I'll go to the doctors tomorrow and see what's what. But I'm putting deep relief gel on it at the moment, which is ibuprofen an inflammatory gel thing, which doesn't seem to do much. But cocodamol is the best. Yeah. Oh, no, mine's. But then I've been putting heat on it, and being a first aider, I should know this. And no, yeah, it does. So now I've got this stuff. I got the spray, the gel. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Indeed.
So, do you want to? So you've got this like swarm of rodents that they seem to be a mixture of rats and other small rodent / mammalian type creatures, plump like guinea pigs, long and slender like skinny rats, some kind of mice, etc. But they're all kind of angry in this corner, and kind of chittering and chirping away at you, and they look like they're gonna potentially come and swarm towards you.
How big are they? Just normal size rats?
Normal sized creatures. There's nothing. Yeah, they're not like small dogs, like a D&D giant rat.
Yeah,
the rats brown or white? Are they lab rats?
They are definitely a mixture, but they are mostly lab rats. Yeah.
Right. That means they've got fucking super strength. They've got super strength. They've all got bloody cybernetic fucking augment. Laser beams pop out of their ass.
And they're all
Super Mouse or Mighty Mouse or Biker Mice from Mars.
They're definitely not cybernetic ninja death cats.
Right. I say step back and shut the door.
All right.
Yep.
As you do that, you notice that in one corner there is a computer terminal that seems to be glowing slightly. But yeah, you step back and close the door, and this chittering. Obviously, you can't really hear it, but then it kind of subsides.
And 1,000 little voices go, "Fuck."
I'm going to, where I am, still use the aim the gun where it was. See if the IR picks anything up through the
Does
wall.
not penetrate through the wall, unfortunately.
That's what I was checking. Yeah, that's fine. Go on to the next stuff and check that one.
Just a quick run through of combat really quickly before we go on. So initiative is based on Dex or Int. You can choose. The effect of the check represents your initiative. One person in the group may make a tactics roll, and the effect of the check is then applied to the initiative of everyone on the same side. So that would be, your average success, average failure, etc. And then I think there's one more thing that you can do, which I think is a leadership. Hang on. So there's a tactics roll. There's your initiative. I thought there was one more roll that you can make. Sorry. That must be it. Just tactics. You then have sort of effectively two actions. You can perform one significant action and one minor action, or 3 minor actions. You can perform any number of reactions. You can perform any number of free actions. Each reaction, every time you perform a reaction, you suffer a -1 dice modifier. Your reactions would be dodging, diving for cover, parrying, for example. So each action subsequently has a -1, and it's cumulative. Significant actions would be things like attacking, melee or ranged, leadership. So somebody could make a leadership test. The effect of the test is a number of bonuses the traveller can give to any skill checks, including attack rolls to other travellers on the same side. So if somebody has leadership, they can just yell orders. And then minor actions would be aiming, changing stance, which is kind of like standing, crouching, lying, prone, drawing, reloading, movement, and then miscellaneous, so other things that you can do. Free actions would be yelling out, etc.
Did you say leadership was a full action?
Leadership is a significant action, yeah.
Yeah, those are. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right, but you've closed the door. All right, you have closed the door, and you are continuing on down the corridor.
Any sign outside this door?
Any sign outside that door? It simply says kitchen. No, it wouldn't say kitchen. It would say food prep.
Okay. I'll open that one.
Okay. I'm opening this room. Again, there is no light. In fact, as you kind of glance up and around, the light fittings that have been set into the ceiling have been deliberately smashed. There's bits of glass and bulb kind of sprinkled all over the floor around here. You have down one side of the room, there are the usual kind of stoves and cookers for preparing small meals and big meals. There'd probably be a couple of shelves above that with various pans and stuff. The pans appear to have been scattered around the back of the room. So sort of probably these two kind of areas here appears to be a large walk-in freezer. You can hear the gentle hum of the freezer's motors, so it's still working.
Okay, so there's no lights, but there's still power.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, I'll go in and check that there's nothing rodent-like in here.
Doesn't appear to be, no.
And I'm going to attempt fate here, and I'm going to open the walk-in freezer door.
Okay.
Just see if there's anything in there.
Can you give me a... Give me a straight up in roll, education roll, please.
Education.
Okay, that's a good. So you managed to bite your tongue and stop yourself from crying out in a mixture of horror and surprise. Inside the freezer, fixed on 12 separate meat hooks are 12 bodies.
Okay. Human bodies, I'm assuming.
They are human. Most of them are missing limbs. Leg here, arm there, 2 legs here, arm and a leg there.
Long pig.
They're in same uniforms as the guy that was outside.
They are in. So the ones that are uniformed are in the same uniform, yeah. But most of the uniforms have been kind of either tops have been removed. So wherever shirt, arms are missing, there's probably no top. Wherever legs are missing, there's no bottoms. Wherever tops and bottoms are missing, it's kind of naked apart from maybe underwear. Whatever stripped them and removed limbs was not doing this for, would not be doing this for any kind of sexual fetish.
Okay, I'm shutting the door and telling everyone that there's bodies there that are being dismembered.
How were they dismembered? Was it surgically or was it haphazard chopping?
How precise for the
Give me a so because you just kind of saw them, you saw them, you then closed the door.
Yeah.
Give me a medic. Give me a medic check. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Nope. Your brain didn't register whether they were clean or savaged.
Yeah.
You would need to actually go and have a look.
I didn't notice, but they were all hanging on meat hooks, so I'm guessing they weren't done surgically.
That's quite worrying.
Yeah.
What they're working on in here, maybe some kind of psychotropic drug.
I don't know, but I doubt that the starving when they've got the pinnace there that they could have actually flown off in. Unless that's out of action.
So this is food prep. Is there other food in here? I'm assuming they've got like other food in here.
Again, you didn't pay enough attention to the freezer to see if there was any other food.
Oh no, this is food prep though, isn't it? So I'm assuming there's like counters and stuff like that.
Or... There would be a few. Yeah, there'd be some dry ration, sort of dry food in here.
That's the point. In this tech and in Traveller, how is food on ships done? Is it?
It would be a mix, right? You would have proper food, and then you would have emergency supplies and rations, which would be that kind of dried, powdered stuff that you add liquid to, or rehydrate in some way or other. Much like what you can take in, when you go mountain climbing and stuff like that.
I don't know what the tech's like, because I don't know whether they're at the point where they can sort of like recycle things into constitutes and start making food up from scratch.
I would say they can, yeah.
So there's no sign on the work surfaces of any sort of like bones been discarded?
Didn't?
Or anything like that?
Well, so if you're having a look, no.
Okay. Human head on a table with an apple in its mouth.
Yeah. Like, where did they get the apple from?
Nice presentation.
It's probably. I would say it's probably. Food on ships would depend on the quality of the ship, right? So it'd be anything from, if you think about an economy class meal on an aeroplane versus, say, a first class meal on an aeroplane versus what the military travel around with MREs and stuff like that, and then things like probably 3D printed meat substitutes.
This is what I was. This is what I was
all
getting
that
at.
kind of stuff.
Does it come? Have they got 3D printing of food? Do they just deliver the constitute like chemicals and all that good stuff and then make shit up?
Yes. So you'd have things like protein. Yeah, I'm just looking at what ChatGPT told me. Protein paste, algae-based noodles, 3D printed meat substitute food, that kind of stuff. Standard ship food is probably better than what you would have if you've been a marine and traveling around in a foxhole, but probably not as good as you could get elsewhere. Low budget, so you probably have a lot of dry biscuits, nutrient bars, protein gels. You may have a 3D printed 3D printed capability on your ship in the gallery to create food based on things that you input. You do get frozen meats, grains, veggies, so something like this ship would probably have frozen meats, grains and veggies, as well as all of the nutrient bars, etc. available to them. So there'll be a number of sort of protein bar wrappers, canisters, dry biscuit kind of canisters scattered around in here, and even some of it is probably crunched underfoot.
Any computer terminals in here?
No.
I'm in the room with the rats. If you're really desperate, we have to clear those out.
Is any blood on the floor?
Not in here, no. No blood.
Let's have a look in the freezer.
I was going to say, if we want more information, we need to check closer.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. That was me trying to move rather than. I can't open the door from the inside.
Carve it in the room.
Yeah. Funnily enough, if you get in here and you click on the door, you're locked in because there's no door this side to open it.
Is it not?
No. I couldn't reopen the door.
No, you can't.
That's very weird.
That's probably why those guys put meat hooks in their backs and just took in the freezer.
I get out, fuck it. Just end me.
Yeah.
Bob, you can have my left leg.
I can't take any more plastic meat.
Yeah. The guy at the back that's been feeding people with his salami for days.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that noise?
I don't know.
That's a door closing.
It's a door opening and closing.
Ah, okay.
Ah. Right, open the
Also-
freezer again.
Doesn't sound Star Trek enough for me.
No,
Should
I'm
be
just going to... Hang on. I want to check something.
Oh,
Is that
that's
better?
nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done it to any other door. Well, I've done it to one other door. I have to go around all the doors in between now and the next game and make them all make a noise. It's pretty freaking cool that you can do that. That explains why in our Pathfinder game, when you open a door, it creaks. That's
Yeah.
really good. Okay, so you're taking some time now to take a look at the bodies.
Yeah. At least they're prepared for what's in there.
You don't need to roll to see that much of that. There is a mixture of ragged tears as well as more surgically removed items. Over in the far corner of the fridge, you can see a small laser scalpel has been kind of discarded or thrown away.
And when you say ragged, do you mean like torn, like pulled off?
Pulled off.
Yeah.
The other thing that you notice in some of them that still have limbs, there are bite marks and bits of flesh removed from the limbs around bite marks.
We're talking like rats or
human-sized bite marks.
I think we can take this ship as being hostile now.
Yeah.
Everybody just suddenly goes,
Yep.
Yep.
Safety's off.
Safety is definitely off.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like tofu.
Are we? Yeah, we're all in the room, aren't we? So Zed's got to open the door again for us to get out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Stick with the
Marcus,
south.
you head down. You head down to. Oops, sorry. Ignore me.
Yeah, whatever any sign on the other door. Not the Irish, the south door.
The south door. It probably is an Irish door. I think this is an Irish door. Hold on. Let me double check. Yeah, it's an Irish valve. To the south, it stays galley.
Yeah. Gun ready. And the door. Oh.
You found the one door that you changed.
All dark.
Okay. It is dark, yeah. That's because there's no source of light directly outside, and whatever has light has been broken. So, are you going to flick your light on again?
Yeah.
Okay.
You really don't want to.
I think in future we should have a torch on before you open doors.
Yeah. Oh, my gun's got all sorts of stuff on it. It's got electronic battlefield sight, light amplification, passive IR, visual magnification, laser rangefinder.
And by about now, a zombie scientist.
Yeah. Even got a flash suppressor on it. That's all built into it.
Probably need some glow sticks.
Yeah.
Not on the gun.
No, but throw into rooms. We definitely need some chemical lighting.
Yeah.
As you as you kind of throw the door open dark, you've clicked on the light. Your torch is probably going to be on all the time now, and you kind of shine it in. What you notice, sort of across here, the tables have been pushed, flipped over, and have been stacked in sort of a semicircle arc. Sort of, yeah, exactly.
The corner, like the last stand.
Sort of like that.
Okay. IR picking up anyone?
No.
Right. I'll carefully step into the room.
Okay.
And
you step inside.
Trying to torch around. See if sign of anyone having been in here, like bodies or
dead. The wall that's opposite that door, and I'll have a quick look inside. Any gunshot marks?
No.
So there's not. They've made a defensible position, but they've not fired guns.
Would appear so, yeah.
Okay.
The other side of the barricade, kind of as you come in, say it's just a table that's been flipped over, and then a number of the benches have been pushed up at the back just to try and stop it from being easily moved. You see a couple of things, sort of over in about here somewhere. There's a big chunk of the barricade out, as though something has just impacted it and pushed it out. Kind of a ragged kind of tear in the probably plastic more than anything, which is quite surprising. And on the other side, near that, you can see this broken piece of table. That's a ragged shaped piece of table has fallen out, and then just beyond that is what appear to be a jumpsuit that has been torn.
Brent, Marcus, I think we got here too late, and it was already going into atmosphere. Backs up.
We're going to have to clear this before we could repair it anyway, so are we leaving or are we going to...
I suppose we need to find out what's in that jumpsuit and how many body parts it's fucking missing.
What I'm worried about is if they've been making like combat drugs.
Yeah.
And something's got loose. Yeah, you know, just a bit like COVID.
Yeah.
Any blood on the jumpsuit?
Okay, so you're actually going to go over and like carefully with your barrel of your gun kind of lift it up.
Yep.
Yeah, so all down one side where the rip is soaked in what is now quite dry blood. You notice the name tag above the left breast says Delmeyer.
So there's blood on the jumpsuit, but is there blood on the floor, like a drag or something? Because we've got a jumpsuit but no body, is that right?
You've got a jumpsuit, no body. There is no blood dragged on the floor. But give me notice rolls or recon. I can never remember what it is. Recon?
Yes, I bought this. Thank fuck for that.
Roll fully.
Now you're looking. There are several spots as though something has dripped blood, kind of tracking, and it tracks out into the corridor and then back to the freezer room.
Well, killed it here, stored it. Right, okay. That'd be one of the naked ones in there.
Well, that denotes a bit of intelligence, whatever this thing is.
Mm-hmm. So this one got a card on it as well that we can
No card in the pockets or anything. It just says Delmeyer, and probably says technician.
Okay.
Or maybe just tech or something. I love that sound. It's great, isn't it?
No. Not when I don't open the door. Because I'm thinking.
Now I feel the need to just go around and make it all the doors make a noise.
Yeah. So if we hear the noise now and I haven't clicked yet, it's like, oh shit.
In fact, that is a good point. I am going to do that for next. I mean, there may be, I might just do it just for atmosphere for next time.
Random opening doors.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so as you open this door, immediately, again, it is dark in here. I'm going to rotate you because, unfortunately, your light comes out of your arse. I can't actually change that. I had to look see if I could figure out how to change it, but you can't. Immediately as you do, as you kind of come in, you notice that a whole bunch of rats and things just scurry and disappear, trying to find dark corners and dark places to go. Directly on the floor, there is a hatch iris just in front of you. It's currently closed.
Okay, so that door to the south, does that lead into another room as well?
This door here, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that one there. That one does, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, direct to the south, it leads into a room.
Right, I'll open that as well.
Okay. As you kind of come in here, immediately as you come in, lights flicker on.
Okay.
Cruise quarters?
This appears to be a stateroom. It is in a state, though. Furniture has been smashed. The beds have been pulled over. What would have been a bunk bed has been kind of pulled over and strewn across the floor. There is smashed furniture. The contents of shelves is strewn across the floor as well. Give me recon as you kind of take a look inside and sort of sweep the room. Look at that, Marcus. Beautiful. Okay, Marcus, as you kind of sweep the room, something green looks out of place in the far wall.
Okay. Approach it with the gun up.
Okay.
Because you said something, it could be, absolutely, could be someone as far as I know.
It's a handle of some kind. Looks like a screwdriver handle.
Being shoved into the wall.
Yes.
What the hell is...
will make you do that?
Yeah, but what the hell's strong enough to be able to puncture a wall with a screwdriver?
Specifically a bulkhead wall.
Yeah, exterior wall, you're saying?
Well, there'll be a skin between that wall and the actual exterior wall. So that would be a normal reinforced bulkhead wall, but it's not the actual exterior wall.
It's still a metal wall.
Yeah.
There's no atmosphere venting from it, hitting or...
No.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can move it back a bit or whether it's jammed into there. Not trying hard, just to see whether or not it slides out.
Give me a straight up strength roll.
Probably not.
It is well and truly jammed in there for you. As you try and grab hold of it, you feel like you're going to have to probably put your foot against the wall, use both hands as best you can, or some other mechanism to leverage it out. It is definitely in there.
Whatever the hell put that in there. Use a hell of a lot of force.
Could be a hammer.
Any damage on the back of the screwdriver to look like it's been beaten in?
Nope, none whatsoever.
I was thinking maybe shot house or something, but that would also have damaged the back.
Depends how it was done. Could be air compression.
Yeah, like Gauss gun or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying PCP, probably.
Super PCP.
As Terminator, the film taught us, PCP can let you punch through windscreens.
Yeah. Any signs of whose room this is? Like more keys, for example?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm keeping a look down the corridor for these rats.
This iris on the floor, has it got a labelling on it to say where it goes?
Fuel. Fuel 1. No, sorry, fuel 2. Sorry.
How does it open? Is it a key code to open it, or you have to
there's a control panel on the wall, and yes, it looks like it requires the right clearance.
Okay.
Well, it would be a biometric kind of RFID type sensor. You would just tap, and it would then clearly allow you to open. There'll be a button that you would press then to open / close the iris.
Any option to lock it?
It's closed at the moment. The sheer fact of when it's closed, it would be locked.
Right. Okay. I say we
you would. You're mostly Marcus. You're mostly the mechanic for the ship, aren't you?
Yeah.
So your summation of this would be probably a small maintenance hatch that would allow you to go down into either directly into the fuel tanks, or more likely you'll go down, there'll be a sealed door that you would open that's probably no bigger than maybe a meter in diameter, that a maintenance bod could crawl through to then get inside one of the fuel tanks effectively.
Are there any indicators here to show how full this is?
No.
Right, okay.
No. You would most likely need to find the bridge to determine that.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on, I guess.
Indeed, yeah.
We've got a light source here. My IR goggles. My LI goggles are enhanced light.
Yeah.
So,
I'm as you kind of walk further down here, I would probably say a light flickers on as it senses your movement as you come towards the end of this corridor. Behind you, another light in the ceiling looks as though it's been smashed.
Yeah. So we've got 3 doors there.
There is an iris in the ceiling here.
Any label on that one?
Maintenance 2. And there is probably a metal ladder in the wall that would allow you to climb up, hit a button and open it. There doesn't appear to be any kind of locking mechanism for this. You would just get up there, you would hit the button and it would slide open.
Right, okay. Any signs of blood or anything around the floors or anything like this? Okay.
No.
Spot for choice on those now.
The one we just walked past.
Yeah. Let's move.
Gotcha. I did a couple more doors. I'm having fun. Okay, this room is dark. The lights don't react to you as you kind of throw the door open. Casting your light sources into here, it appears that more mattresses and blankets than you would expect to be in this room have been piled up around the bed at the back of the room.
Okay. Again, in the gun, IR. Check if there's anything hidden under it.
Nothing.
That's alive. Right.
Nothing.
Go over and with a gun barrel, move some of the mattresses aside.
Yeah. They're in a bit of a state as you kind of move them aside. Empty packets of dried food kind of spill out. Crumbs and things spill out. Fortunately, no body parts spill out.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm still picturing you all in your vac suits. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Nobody's kind of stopped to remove their vac suits.
No, mine's stayed on.
Okay. There's no limitation on them.
9 hours.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, it's the air, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I won't be, because I'm assuming it's detecting oxygen.
Oh yeah. I mean, the scanners in here are telling you that the air is breathable. There are no nasty particulates. Nothing strange or untoward can be found in the atmosphere.
I don't care. I'm leaving mine on. I'm still got my breather mask on underneath it as well.
I'm thinking whatever was coming out of the mouth of the guy floating in space, I'm not taking any chance that there might be some foreign objects about.
It's a lab ship. I've heard of some scary stuff being done on these things in secret.
Nothing else in this room.
Doesn't appear to be.
What are these 3 doors labelled? And the iris?
Ooh. So the iris above you here is labelled maintenance 1.
Okay.
This is labelled storage, and this is WC.
Okay. Guarantee somebody's dead on the toilet.
I'm checking storage.
Okay. As you open this, there's nobody dead on the toilet. It's kind of a mixture of a head and a shower unit, just somewhere that people can go to get clean. The storage area has a number of typical kind of maintenance things, spare parts, cleaning, that kind of stuff. It's nothing you would. There's nothing in there that appears to be out of place based on what you can see.
Okay. Might as well leave it open.
No, I think we should be closing all the doors behind us. Then we know if somebody else has gone back in there.
Well, that's why I was thinking if we leave it open, we know there's nobody hiding in the cupboard. If it was an open room where they could hide in, fair enough. You want to close it? Feel free. I'm going to open next door.
The long corridor that stretches out beyond. Well, no, your light will. So down here, although it's not on the map. Sorry, I'm trying to ping and it's not working. Down here, there will be a typical airlock door.
Is that the iris on the floor?
There is another iris on the floor, yes.
We've got a door to
And a door to the left.
And a door to the left.
Yeah. Door to the left.
Okay. Glancing, opening the door in here, when you open the door, you are hit by bright light. This appears to be a well-lit, very well-appointed dining room. A single large polished table surrounded by 6 chairs sits in the middle. 6 place settings on the table.
Captain's table.
Yeah, I was expecting him to carry on with 6 corpses sitting around there. Yeah, let's go in.
Does it have any look of recent use?
Doesn't appear to, no. It has no sign of recent use, no. It's very much a it was laid ready for use, but doesn't appear to have been used. There are a number of comfortable chairs and probably some small side tables kind of scattered around the sides, 2 or 3 monitors which are currently dark. Who's that that's just wandered in and having a look? Brent?
Yep.
Do you have notice? No, you don't.
Nope, sorry.
Make a -3 roll, can't you?
Yeah, you can take a -3.
What's it cascade down to?
Recon.
Recon is intelligence.
So intelligence -3.
Just make the roll on recon, can't you? You not double click it?
Yeah.
It'll do the same thing. It'll still pull your stat through.
Yeah, you need to unhide, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't hide it anyway.
No. You kind of scout a look into this chamber, into this room. Nothing jumps out at you.
Thank God for that.
Doesn't jump out. It doesn't jump out. It drops from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I'll walk over to the next door, glancing at the iris as I walk over it, or under it, depending on which side it is. Just to see if there's a label.
Give me a recon. Give me a recon roll as you kind of glance in as you walk past.
Well, I wasn't glancing into the room. I was looking at the iris.
Oh, the iris. Okay. So the iris just says fuel 2-B.
Okay. Let's open this one. Another storage room.
Another storage room.
The control panel on these irises and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it just a control panel, or can you get information back off of it, like when it was last opened? Or
no, these are just control panels. You would need to find a working computer terminal to get that information,
which is currently guarded by a horde of rats.
Yeah,
possibly. Anything as a place in the storage?
Nope.
This class, right? Runs on. True.
Okay.
Dark.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll tell you whether it's dark or not. As soon as you open the door, the light comes on. This one's an odd room. It is a stateroom. So it would have been a stateroom, except instead of it having beds and things in here, the only thing that's been preserved to tell you it was a stateroom is the entrance to the bathroom, which is just above, which is just this door here. The rest of this has a couple of small tables with one table with one chair on it, another table with 2 chairs, and then all across the back here, and then up the side are there are 3 computers that are mounted on the back wall with 3 comfortable chairs. Kind of. Let me just double check something. 3 comfortable chairs.
Right, strangely branded Secret Labs.
Yep. These appear to be, and then the wall this side here has a whole, a single sort of wall-to-ceiling shelf full of data wafers.
Okay. The computers working, or
they appear to be, though they need they would need data display headsets. There are 2 scattered around in pieces on the floor. You could try and spend some time seeing if you could cobble one together, but there is also one missing.
These data wafers, do they have any sort of like information on them? Are they like in date order at like security recordings, or?
They just seem to have very long and very boringly scientific titles on the data wafers.
Okay, I've got a personal HUD. Is there any way to interface that with the computers instead?
I don't see why not. I'd need an electronics computer role, maybe. Yeah, electronics computers. Your HUD and the computers do not. What tech level is your HUD?
9.
The computers are of a much higher tech level than your HUD, and so it will take you a while, but you would probably need to significantly reprogram your HUD.
Right, okay.
You could certainly do it. It will be a number of hours. It would probably be an extended sort of computer check that would take you probably 1D worth of hours total.
Or we can go and look for the other.
Or you can keep searching to see if you can find.
Keep searching, because this thing is crashing. I'm not wasting hours trying to.
We can pick up the broken ones in case we need to cobble them together. Or if the one we find has one piece missing or something daft like that.
Well, I'm going to grab a lot of these wafers. I'll take some from the end of the bookshelf and then random ones in between.
Okay.
Take the wafers and go, the body of Christ.
Roll 2 dice.
Yeah.
Ready? Roll 2 dice.
I assume nothing's in this other room then.
Actually, don't roll 2 dice. Just if you've, it doesn't matter. Just roll 1. Oh, you've done it. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. You managed to gather up a total of 11 of these data wafers. Just make a note of that somewhere. Oh dear. I'll tell you what, I hope I haven't got COVID. One of the guys that we were out with on our stag do on Saturday was coughing and spluttering all day, and I'm gradually feeling ropier and ropier as the evening's going on. Maybe I've been tonguing dart, that's why I've got COVID.
Tell me more about your character. Tell me more.
I don't.
I love you, man. All right. So this is what appears to have been an old stateroom converted into a library.
Yeah. Okay. Let's head back out. Go that way. That way. That way. There.
Okay.
7.
Again, this is dark, but there is a light switch by the side of the door, which I'm assuming as you go into each, if the room is dark, you're going to check the light switch unless you tell me otherwise. Otherwise, and if that doesn't work, which I'll tell you, you then use your light sources to kind of shine the room. Flicking the light switch, the light does come on in here. And again, it's another stateroom. This time it is a stateroom. On the wall leading, so this part of the room, sort of, because I'm on different things. This part of the room here, as you first walk in, there are a number of photos that show probably an early 30s woman with kind of auburn hair in one, wearing a scientific outfit, and you can see again on the label the name Rinch, and there is her with a partner, obviously, her with a partner and a dog, and a few other kind of, basically, kind of home photos to design to try and make this place quite homely.
No sign of disturbance in here, like there was a fight or anything.
No.
So they were outside.
Nope. This appears to be absolutely fine.
Any clothing in the wardrobes?
Yeah. Just a set of civvies and a couple of lab technicians' outfits. All of them. The lab technicians one all say Rinch on the breast.
Yeah.
That's to put a G in front of all the name tags.
Okay, this one. As you throw the door open, it doesn't. First and foremost, it doesn't light up, and then you flick the switch and nothing happens. When you kind of shine your torch in here, this one is also a absolute state of distress. Bedclothes have been scattered. In fact, actually, there are no bedclothes and there are no mattresses in here. The lights have been smashed. The rest of the room has been tossed, torn apart, ripped, thrown around. Interesting.
And I'll check in the restroom, I guess this is.
Okay.
The ensuite.
Yep. Give me an investigate roll, please.
There is an investigate skill.
There is an investigate skill. I know there is because he's telling me to get my. It says players should make an investigate check.
I'm trained with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
So investigate seems to be what you use for discovering things rather than recon.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so
that's fine.
Recon is spotting things, and investigate is working things out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar to the old 3.5 rules.
Yeah.
Did exactly the same thing, and people always used to get confused. Oh, I'll use investigate to find traps. No, you don't. You use investigate to find out how they fucking work.
Yeah. Okay.
So, no, failure.
Okay. Yeah. You throw the door open to the into the bathroom. There's nothing in there. Again, you kind of give it a casual glance around. Poke around some of the detritus and you don't see anything.
Yeah. I'm guessing the mattress and things are being taken out there for that other room.
Possible.
I'm assuming we can investigate in there.
Yeah. Or not?
No, I can't.
Go on, I may as well. I'm still at -3, but
for somebody who.
No, absolute dog shit.
No. I mean, it's obviously been destroyed, and all the soft stuff, the mattress, the cloth, blankets, and stuff have been taken out. You surmise that it's been taken down to that room earlier. Light flicks on immediately as you kind of stick your head in here. This is a stateroom, but completely undisturbed. The bed is still pristinely made. Absolutely nothing. Bathroom is fine. There are no clothes in the wardrobe either.
Right, okay.
Can you all give me? Actually, no. Your sensors on your vac suit register noxious particulates.
In that room or in the corridor?
No. As you kind of look towards the end of the corridor, it suddenly starts to register sort of noxious odours.
I was going to say, sorry about that, guys. I just have to let that one go. Open a little flap on the back.
I'm glad I'm in front of you. Okay.
So possibly coming from that end room.
It seems very strong.
Is it getting stronger?
It's very strong where you are, and it seems to be where you are, Marcus, and it seems to be emanating from the door.
Can you sensor that to find out what it is?
I haven't clicked on any doors. I just heard the door open.
Yeah, I heard the door open as well.
Yeah, I hadn't clicked on it.
You heard the door close.
Ah, the one behind us.
Ah, it's all right.
Right. I will dig out my 8-kilogram scientific toolkit.
Your sensors are reading elevated CO2. Yeah. mostly that's what you're getting is elevated CO2, and it seems to be referencing ammonia or sulfur-based compounds. Not noxious in the sense, I suppose ammonia and sulfur would be a noxious smell if you got it. Marcus, you immediately recognise these as probably decaying meat or decaying body.
Okay. Brace myself. Still got the gun down as I open the door.
Okay. All right. Opening the door, a stench. Well, you can't smell it because you've got your vac suits on.
Yeah.
The room itself is dimly lit, so I'm going to turn the light on. 3 of the 4 ceiling light fixtures have been smashed. The 4th flickers with a low hum. The bed, mattress, and sheets are not present. A long wooden pole lies on the floor. Around one end of it, clustered bits of glass. The closet door in this stateroom is slightly ajar.
Yes. I shall go in.
At least now I've been smashing the lights now.
And open the closet door with the barrel of the gun.
As soon as you kind of touch it with the barrel of the gun, the door swings open of its own volition and a body tumbles out.
I'll step back.
Hitting the deck with that kind of putrid splurt sound that a body that is kind of going into serious decay would make.
Because it didn't fucking explode.
Yeah.
This in the same uniforms that we've been seeing, or?
It appears to be in civilian clothes. Probably jeans and a khaki.
Yeah.
Well, a khaki. Jeans and probably just like a white figure-hugging t-shirt.
Right. Okay.
Okay, this is a good advantage to us. Can I just find out how long, roughly, it's been dead for?
Sure.
Yeah.
A medic check.
To the second.
Exceptionally good success.
You look at his watch.
Yeah, it stops us.
Approximately. No, not approximately. Dead on 5 days.
It's look natural for 5 days worth of decay.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Don't forget, it's been stuck in a sterile environment, so unless you've been able to just decompose in its own juices for 5 days.
Yeah. I want to know whether it's got whatever is affecting these. If it's a pathogen or something, is it accelerating decay, or is it a flesh-eating disease type of thing, or whatever?
It is at least 20 or 30 stab wounds across torso and arms. So the skin would be discoloured, probably greenish and purple in the abdomen. Eyes would be sunken. Tongue might be protruding out. There would be some bloating in the abdomen and face. There would be some dark fluid leaking from mouth, nose, eyes, anal cavity, etc. Limbs would be loose and contorted unnaturally. And whatever clothing they wear would be, you've got to be very careful about what you plug into ChatGPT so that it doesn't think that you're trying to understand how you could get away with.
I've just Google searched it. Yeah,
I just pop to the garden and with a shovel and find out how long 5 days is.
Yeah, I planted this one 7 days ago. Okay, there you
go. So when you kind of look at it, you suspect it's obviously a human male, probably in late 30s, but judging by the state of the body, in very high physical peak physical condition, which is impressive, being on a space station, not a spaceship, potentially for a long time. You estimate, 5.3 days approximately. Early stage autolysis and putrefaction has set in a setting.
Anything in the ensuite?
No, nothing.
No, okay. Stab wounds basically rules out germ warfare or things that obviously somebody stabbed him.
Bladed weapon.
Yeah. But then they've had the foresight and stuff from the wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just to check, the stab wounds are through the clothes.
Yes.
Just checking that they didn't stab the body and then dress them.
No. So the shirt, the kind of the white t-shirt, would be all stained with dark around the abdomen, ripped in places, and then the arms were exposed, but they're covered in stab wounds and not self-harm wounds.
This is the last door.
Okay. Okay, so as you open that door, I don't think I said that one. I did. No light reacts to you. When you flick the switch, there is a bunch of sparks come out of the ceiling, but it remains dark. Scanning your light around, and actually, as you open the door, a run of water kind of trickles out of the door across your boots.
Okay. Is the room in a mess? Like bedding and things everywhere, or?
The room has been stripped of cloth and bedclothes. There's about 2 centimeters of water across the floor that's kind of sort of evening out now as it's kind of running. It's probably maybe a couple of centimeters a couple of centimeters in depth, probably ran out the door when you opened it. That'll even itself off to almost negligible as it runs down the corridor. But other than that, the room itself is fine. Just the furniture is just, waterlocked and water soaked. What I would say is, that door would have been open.
This one, the one that I've just come in.
No, the door to the bathroom.
I can't believe you just stepped into that room.
I wanted to open this door to the bathroom, but there isn't even a door to the bathroom there for me.
Yeah, so
electrical discharge, water all over the floor. I'm not going in that fucking room. I am now, but
yeah.
The door to the bathroom was open, and looking inside, the sink is clogged full of bloodied bandages.
Okay, but there's no bodies in here, just bandages.
Nope, just bandages.
Is the water running?
The water is not running. Again, you would probably all know that it's very difficult to flood a spaceship by leaving a tap on, because the computer, the central computer of the ship would monitor such things and respond by closing taps off.
Carvey, can you get my toaster in there so you can plug it in somewhere, please?
Yeah.
Have we missed something?
I'm sorry, but the plug doesn't fit.
Have you missed something? No, because what I need to do is this, and I do apologise. So bear with me 1 second.
I was going to say there's the hatch that leads up as well as the 2 fuel tanks, but there's another door.
There's a door.
My apologies. There is a door at either end of here. Oops.
I got you.
These are slightly different in that they would be more likely to be kind of pressure doors.
Mm-hmm.
So you can effectively seal off an entire compartment with an airtight pressure door, rather than something like an iris, which could potentially have some kind of leakage in it.
Yeah.
So you could continue and head wherever that goes to.
Same as on the ship where you have and where you seal off compartments.
Like little bulkheads.
For flooding, yeah.
But okay, so as you open that door, it will reveal. Hold on. It will reveal another corridor.
It's where the Doom music starts.
Yeah. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop there for the night as you open that door.
Right, can we at least move the torch to face the right direction? I'm trying to get through that way, not into the room that we just talked about.
There you go. Yes, you can. And I will move everybody next week accordingly.
Okay.
All right.
Awesomeness.
You have explored the first quadrant of the station of the lab ship.
Quadrant, that means there's 7 more.
No, there's 4 more. There's 3 more.
I know.
Not sure whether you've learnt anything useful yet.
I think it's shoot on sight. That's the thing that's coming to mind at the moment.
I'm just waiting for the small child that's been hiding for 5 days in a fucking in a crawl space. That's all I'm waiting for.
With a cat.
Yeah.
That mostly comes out at night.
Well, do you know, you can get exosuits in this. You know, the big ones with a massive cargo lifter thingies. That'd be quite cool.
You can. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of things in here that's it's like, yeah, I wish I had those at the moment, but there's no way I could afford them. Power armor type things for a start.
You've got quite a bit of cash though now, haven't you?
Nowhere near that much.
No, nowhere near enough for power armor.
The armor I need, I can't even get because it's too high tech level and highly illegal.
I think this ship's the biggest cost, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't need it, Kath. You would like it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm fairly sure I need it. See, how much was it?
In which case, I need this lab ship and a really good cleaner.
You need a lab ship and a really good cleaner. Right, I'm going to take the server down because I know JT